And finally, in Grenada, there is a lot of talk about faith, and not the good kind that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. In fact, the conversation about faith is a theater of possible malfeasance and wrongdoing at the highest levels of government. An organization established in the name of community development and empowerment of the people that is now raising red flags of corruption. Faith Organization for Development, Inc., hiding under the innocuous banner of a non-profit organization, collected millions of dollars from the public treasury to provide services in schools and to conduct development training. The services were delivered, but the issue of faith is the how and the who. How was the outsourcing contract awarded to this organization during the frenzied period of trying to reopen schools while a pandemic raged on? And who was involved? It is the who that raises the specter of impropriety and even speculation about corruption. The former Minister of Education has been very open about her closeness and connection to the organization, as if she sees nothing wrong with her office manager also being the manager of an organization contracted by her ministry. But the degrees of separation are even closer. The former minister's sibling is one of the directors of Faith. Then there is the chairman, whom the former minister describes as her personal friend, confidant, and church buddy. So that if there was no breach of law, Faith serves as a tale of insensitivity or disregard for optics. When the government changed in June, new, less tolerant eyes began to look at the relationship between the government and Faith and found it dubious. When the organization demanded outstanding payments, they had been receiving about $350,000 monthly from the government. The organization could not present a contract signed by any government official, unless you count the signature of the former minister's office manager. A permanent secretary, sent on leave soon after the cabinet was sworn in, eventually emailed a contract with a government signature almost 2 months later. The question now arises, where had that document been for the last 2 months that it could not be found in ministry records, and how did the permanent secretary, while on leave, get access to it? In early July, Faith received $350,000 based on submitted invoices. And shortly after that, more invoices were sent in, despite the fact that the life of the agreement with the government was set to expire at the end of July. One invoice, which was first made out for more than $20,000, was resubmitted, charging upwards of $40,000, and revised a second time to just under $100,000. In the meantime, stories abound of poor and vulnerable Grenadians, a phrase coined and made popular by the last administration as some sort of interest group, who were owed outstanding salaries from Faith. This leads me to wonder if Faith was operating on a hand-to-mouth basis, despite receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars each month from the government, and whether funds that could have been paid the outstanding salaries went elsewhere. The matter, I understand, has been referred to the Office of the Attorney General for legal advice on how to proceed, and rightly so. And as the former Minister of Education pulls and pushes on just what her relationship with Faith is, I await the results of an investigation that any responsible government would insist upon. And that's my 2 pence halfpenny on this edition of The Narrative. I would like to thank everyone for joining and for viewing The Narrative. On behalf of all of our producers, thank you so very much. With the right mercies, we will be back with you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.